What's up everybody, welcome to my channel where we don't do and think like the average person out there. So growing up and watching schools challenge quiz, I normally see school like Calabar and Glenmuir, and those schools were always doing well, and I'm like, yo, I want to go to those schools. But when it was time to do GSAT and you'd select the schools that you wanted, I didn't put any of those schools as my first choice because from those tender age, I was doing my little own financial planning in my head because I was saying that the amount of money it would take to go from where I was living to go get to Calabar would be a lot of money, and that was like approximately $250, and that was the amount of money I was getting for lunch when I was going to Oberlin High School, and that was in 2004. So I was getting like $250 a day for lunch. So it was literally from those days, I was technically financially literate to an extent because I was actually calculating that it would cost too much, and the home that I grew up in, there was about 5 hours going to school at the time, and there was one primary income. So I had to factor in that, like, if I was to go to that school, it was going to cost a lot and burden my relatives. So the schools that I selected were really close to me, less than 45 minutes to an hour away. So my first choice was Oberlin High School. If you know Dental Technical, that was one of them. And if you know St. Mary's College, that was one of them. So those were, I believe, my three top schools. And then I did put Calabar and those in fourth and like fifth place. Now, as a country boy going to Oberlin High School, there were a lot of town kids like from Cassava Peace, Constant Spring, and all those areas that you can almost think of in Kingston. And as a country boy, I didn't know anything about transport bag, collection, uniform, those white type of khaki, those like a nice looking khaki. All I knew about was like the parachute bag and some big pants. So peer pressure started kicking at those times where some kids used to laugh at you, say, yo, your bag big, your pants big, and so you start to make those little changes. And I still have to factor in that to buy the collection, they're a little bit more expensive. To buy the transport bag, they're a little bit more expensive. To buy the nice shoes like the Clarks, the Adidas, the Reebok, because in those days, those were the hot shoes, the Reebok and the Puma. And I believe there was one little ugly one where you call it Creation. I don't know what people used to fancy about Creation. Anyway, so I know there wasn't any money to do it, so from the little that I got, I had to be saving from those times to contribute towards buying the transport bag, and I know that if I didn't save and put down my money towards those things, I wasn't going to have them. So sometimes I'm asked like, why am I so disciplined at things? But I realize those are the things that I used to do, why I'm so disciplined today at doing certain things. So even though I wanted to go Calabar High School or Glenmuir College, there is no regrets that I went to Oberlin High because I realized that CXCs are CXCs. It doesn't matter where you get them. So 5 CXC or 5 CXC, whether you get it at Oberlin High School, Glenmuir College or Campion College, it will take you to the same university. So it doesn't really matter. It depends on the child. So if the child is not going to perform at Oberlin High School, there's a high probability they won't perform at Campion College. So there might be some advantages of those clues in terms of the extracurricular activities like the sports that they are exposed to. Some of these schools may not have them, right? But at the end of the day, if the primary goal is just to get some CHCs, it doesn't matter which school. So sometimes I see some parents killing up themselves that they want transfers because their child didn't pass for this school that they wanted, and they go through the trouble to send them to X school. Like sometimes, honestly, you're wasting your time because like I said before, if the child is not going to perform at Oberlin High School, they're not going to perform at Campion College. And sometimes I believe parents are just doing this because they want to say, hey, my child is going to Campion College. There's no benefit just to say your child is going to Campion College. And sometimes I believe parents pressure their kids to have 9 and 10 and 12 CXC just to brag and say, hey, my child passed 12 CXC subjects, but at the end of the day, you only need 5 or 6. So what's the point of pressuring your child unnecessarily just for you to brag as a parent. I'm not here to tell anyone how to grow their child, I'm just voicing my opinion. So in grade 10, I purchased my first pair of black desert clocks. And for those who know me, they would call me Clarksman because all they know me where from then is just Clarks. And the reason behind this is because I couldn't afford like a dress shoe separate, a church shoe separate, so it was one shoes for every occasion. So anyway you'd see me in a pair of black clocks. And chances are if you see me today, it's probably the same thing. So that is the reason why from those days I've been wearing clocks as a brand, because they're durable and they look good and they are very simple. So for many individuals who weren't really fortunate to have the things they want when they were younger, I realized that they tend to spend a lot of money on things that they didn't have, like the shoes, the clothes and all of that. But for me, it's a little bit different. Now I can afford it, it doesn't really matter to me anymore. So I'm not going to have 10 pair of clocks stuck up in our closet gathering dust, and I have better use for that money today. So that same money that would be used to buy those shoes, and instead I invest it and put it towards my future generation to come. So that's how I deal with it. So I'm not gonna go out and buy a bunch of things that I don't want and then I might end up have to throw them away, because that's money down the drain, and the money in the whole heap of extra clothes and shoes, that's dead money. We are going to wear 10 pair of shoes one time. No, you can't do that. I deal with it different, and a lot of people sometimes end up struggle because of these little decisions. If you weren't born with any form of gold spoon in your mouth or any form of inheritance, it's very important that you maintain a frugal lifestyle if you want to get ahead financially. And there's a big difference between being mean and being frugal. So let me give you an example. A mean person, if they're going to the store, forgot their $5 change, right? And halfway on their way home, right, they're going to turn back, not calculating the time and the amount of gas that it's going to take for them to go and get that $5, while the frugal person is going to say, damn, I can't afford to waste that time to go back and it's going to cost me more in the gas. So it's better to leave that $5 at the shop. And that's one simple difference between a person who is being mean and one who is being frugal. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video, and make sure if you're new here, check out like 4 of my other videos and then decide if you want to subscribe.